And I think everybody, the American public, believe it's absurd for anyone to insinuate that this president is profiting off of the presidency.
There are so many moments that feel unserious, and this is another one of those moments, but at least we get to cope together, right? My name is Brittany Page. I am not Jesse Dollemore. I am guest hosting for Jesse Dollemore today. I can't tell you how many comments and messages we got saying, "Where is Jesse?" And he's sick, unfortunately. And he would, I'm sure, love to read a comment from you, hoping that he gets better. So leave a comment below telling Jesse that you hope he gets better. I'm sure he would love to hear those thoughts. This is not a hostile takeover of his channel. I'm here, I'm approved, I'm guest hosting. My name is Brittany Page. I'm so happy to join you. I'm excited about this. All of Jesse's props, though. I have access to the pocket constitution here. I have the stickers, the bat phone, and I actually have the actual bat phone. So I don't know, maybe we'll get creative. Maybe we'll use some of these items. I'm excited about it. So there was a cryptogrift dinner last night, and the Trump administration probably wouldn't want us to call it that. So keep that in mind when you're writing your comments. Maybe you don't want to use that term, but this website, we have to go through this website, gettrumpmemes.com/dinner, where you will see this AI yassified version of Donald Trump. They write here, it is the most exclusive invitation in the world, only for the top 220 Trump meme coin holders. President Donald J. Trump is known as the crypto president. At this intimate private dinner, hear firsthand President Trump talk about the future of crypto. For the top 25 coin holders, you are invited to an exclusive reception before dinner with your favorite president. Plus, we have separately by us arranged for a special VIP tour for you, so make sure you stay in town. So none of this looks great. It looks really bad. I mean, most things with the Trump administration appear that way, but this in particular, I mean, the more money you have, the more access you get in a Donald Trump administration. There is zero transparency for who is attending this event. I mean, we got some glimpses from reporters that were staked outside of where the event was being held. And Karoline Leavitt had some desperate moments in her press conference trying to defend the lack of transparency on this issue. Who are these people? Who are these people that are giving of their wealth, giving of their money in order to try to obtain access to the president of the United States? Don't we need to know that? Who are these people? According to Karoline Leavitt, no. But let's go through some headlines before we cut to that clip of Karoline. We see this one: wealthy foreign crypto investors descend on President Trump's golf club for $148 million meme coin dinner. Another one, a crypto billionaire who feared arrest in the US returns for dinner with Trump. Wow, that sounds great. And then we have this one from NBC News. Trump's crypto dinner cost over $1 million per seat on average. And actually, let's read from this article for a moment, because this is just remarkable. Quote, more than 200 wealthy, mostly anonymous crypto buyers are coming to Washington on Thursday to have dinner with President Donald Trump. The price of admission, $55,000 to $37.7 million. That's how much the 220 winners of a contest to meet Trump spent on his volatile cryptocurrency token, Trump. According to an analysis by the blockchain analytics company Nansen, the top Trump coin holders at a specific time, determined by the dinner's organizers, secured a seat. And then if we look at the chart there in the article, the average Trump coin contest winner spent 500 times the federal election contribution limit for individuals. So this is just yet another way that Donald Trump is using the office of the presidency to enrich himself. And we'll get into the how of that when we get into a very important investigative report from the Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics crew. You may have heard about them. I think Jesse has actually interviewed people from crew on this channel. We are going to find out who some of those people are and their ties to abhorrent, racist crypto assets in a moment. But first, let's hear from Karoline Leavitt, the White House press secretary, and her attempts to cover for Donald Trump's continued abuse of power.
Garrett, go ahead.
Karoline, you guys are very proud of your record on transparency. I have two transparency-related questions for you.
Sure.
On the president's dinner tonight, will the White House commit to making a list of the attendees public so people can see who's paying for that kind of access to the president?
Well, as you know, Garrett, this question has been raised with the president. I have also addressed the dinner tonight. The president is attending it in his personal time. It is not a White House dinner. It's not taking place here at the White House. But certainly I can raise that question and try to get you an answer for it.
Okay.
So the first thing about this question is I love the attempt from the reporter there. He's like, you guys love transparency. You guys are so passionate about transparency. So given that love and passion and how dedicated you are to transparency, can we get that dinner list? Who's going to be at this cryptogrift dinner with Donald Trump? Who is it? And then, of course, we have Karoline Leavitt saying at the beginning, her first response was, this question has been raised with the president. And then you might note at the end there, she says, I can certainly raise that and try to get an answer on that. Okay, wait, you started the answer saying that the question had already been raised with the president about being transparent with his guest list to his cryptogrift dinner. And then you say, you can certainly raise that and try to get an answer on that. That doesn't add up. But she's also saying, listen, he's attending in his personal time. This isn't happening at the White House. You know, unfortunately, Karoline, none of that matters because none of that is a defense against how he is personally profiting, selling his status, selling access to the highest bidder for who knows what purpose, for who knows what transactions are happening in that room. That's part of the accountability process of people wanting to know who is in the room with the president. But another reporter makes an effort to get to the bottom of this, and let's see that right now.
Thanks, Karoline. Back to the presidential gala tonight. Did anyone in the White House or in the White House counsel's office advise the president against holding this sweepstakes, whereby people who spent the most money on his Trump coin would then have access to the president at this dinner?
Again, the president has been asked about this. He has addressed this. I have also stated previously from this podium that the president is abiding by all conflict of interest laws that are applicable to the president. And I think everybody, the American public, believe it's absurd for anyone to insinuate that this president is profiting off of the presidency. This president was incredibly successful before giving it all up to serve our country publicly. And not only has he lost wealth, but he also almost lost his life. He has sacrificed a lot to be here, and to suggest otherwise is frankly completely absurd.
Does the White House
Libby,
have
go
any
ahead.
concerns?
So again, refusing to be transparent, refusing to be forthcoming, continuing with this line about how Donald Trump was already a wealthy man. How could anyone think he possibly would want to personally profit, make more money? Why would he want to make more money, right? I think we have seen evidence that the thirst for wealth and greed by billionaires, by the wealthiest in this country, it cannot be satiated. They just keep going. They want more money. They want more wealth. And I don't think that Donald Trump is immune from that. But let's take a look, like I said, from Crew on this, because they specifically go through how Donald Trump is personally benefiting from this. Quote, Trump profits directly from sales of the token. A Trump Organization affiliate, CIC Digital LLC, and a second organization, Fight LLC, collectively own 80% of the total supply of the token. Additionally, both entities collect a portion of the fees on Trump transactions. Since the token launched in January, wallets linked to the coin's creators have accrued more than $324 million in revenue from fees. The dinner announcement was followed by a price spike of nearly 60% and a massive surge in trading volume. By launching an anonymous bidding war for access to the presidency, Trump is opening his doors to influence peddlers with murky motivations. These attendees' other investments show one more reason why that's a bad idea. Exactly. But you might be wondering, wait, who are these attendees? What does Crew know? Given that the White House isn't being transparent, they actually found at least 50 Trump crypto dinner invitees have crypto tokens linked to racist language and alt-right symbols. And let me read some of this for you here. Quote, 50 of the Trump meme coin dinner invitees hold crypto assets named for Pepe the Frog, which is known as an alt-right symbol, as well as swastikas, a racial slur, and references to anti-Semitic ideology, according to an analysis by Crew, adding to concerns raised by the dinner, which represents a naked attempt by President Donald Trump to profit from his office. 9 of the wallets, including some that hold Pepe-themed assets, held assets whose names are outright racist or anti-Semitic. For example, one token is called F the Jews, while another is simply the N-word. 4 others are variations on the word swastika, such as swasticoin and swastika coin. This, of course, while we're constantly hearing from this administration that they are working overtime to defeat anti-Semitism, using that as a defense for disappearing people from the streets for writing op-eds, while they're having these people, they're hosting these people for a dinner and ensuring that these people get access to Donald Trump. Disgusting. And how much more evidence do we need of corruption, of grift, of self-dealing? It never ends with Donald Trump. It never ends with the Trump administration. They want to flood the zone, the Trump administration. They want to flood the zone and keep us distracted with endless controversy, endless chaos, so that we can't keep track. And that's why it's so important to support media like Crew, like Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics, who are doing very important work. It's why it's so important to support channels like this one, Jesse, with all those comments that you guys left saying, where is Jesse? That points to the fact that you get something valuable out of his channel here. So I'm sure that in his absence, while I'm covering for him, he would really appreciate it if you subscribe. Take the time to click that button below. You can also check me out on YouTube. My name is Brittany Page. I host The Page Perspective, where I talk a lot about politics, a lot about social issues, social justice. I focus a lot on poverty. You can just look at my background here and see what my main priorities are, the main things that I talk about. But thank you for joining me today. Jesse would love to know what you think about this topic. So please call and leave him a fewer than 3-minute voicemail at 714-576-4054. Or of course, you can send an email to him at daily@dollemore.com. You can also support the work on this channel by becoming a channel member for as little as $1.99 a month by clicking the join button below. Or you can go to patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast and support our efforts there. We appreciate you so much. And as Jesse would say, be genuine and take care of one another.